I'm so honored and privileged to be here with all of you. And as Reverend Coco said, I am a spiritual practitioner, a counselor, spiritual therapist. I sit with individuals all day, every day, highest privilege and honor. These individuals often share things with me that perhaps they've never shared with anyone else. So when I tell you it's a high privilege, that's an understatement. I'm immersed in this spiritual life, this spiritual world, 24/7. I eat, live, drink, breathe it. So you can imagine my surprise when I walked into my kitchen the other morning and my husband's making oatmeal for our son. And I come in and I have a story I want to share with them, and I start sharing my story, and it's a really good one, so I'm kind of excited, and I'm probably talking fast and talking loud, and before you know it, our son William is talking fast and he's talking loud, and he's jumping in, and I'm talking faster and louder, and then Jamie jumps in, my husband, and he's speaking really fast and really loud, and before you know it, I am rolling my eyes, and unbeknownst to me, I have my arms folded across my chest, and he stops, and he says, "Babe, what's the problem?" And I looked at him like, "You're interrupting my story." To which he replied, "Babe, you're calling it interrupting your story now, but remember when you used to call it finishing each other's sentences." To which I replied, "Touché." So I'm wondering if you've ever had that experience. You're having a perfectly fine day, and maybe your boss walks in and criticizes a big project that you've been pouring your heart into. Or maybe you got fired from your job and lost your job. Or maybe even you are struggling and you're working 2 jobs and you're just wanting to make ends meet, and you're finding yourself in debt. I call these tangles. You've heard this saying that we are spiritual beings having a human experience, a human incarnation. Yes, you've heard this saying? Well, I've come to know in working with individuals that I believe we are all spiritual beings seeking to have a spiritual experience while in this human plane, right? We are spiritual beings seeking to have a spiritual experience, especially when we get tangled up, when life hands us something that we find ourselves tangled up in. So Albert Einstein actually said that the most important decision that an individual can make in their entire lifetime is whether you believe that the universe is friendly. Yes. The most important decision you can make in your life is whether you believe that the universe is friendly. So here we are, this golden cord. We are beautiful, golden, spiritual beings, and we are living in a universe that is benevolent, a universe that is friendly, a universe that is for us, a universe with so much good that it is everywhere, it is inescapable, it is always available. There is this flow, this universal, unconditioned, loving presence that is so utterly delicious that it is beyond description and beyond comprehension. And we are spiritual beings. We are of this golden cord. We have a golden nature. Our nature is golden. Our nature is divine. Our nature is sparkly. As Reverend Michael says, we come from designer genes. We're radiant beings. Sometimes when that boss does criticize us, or in fact, if we've lost a job or lost a thing, sometimes that can become a tangle. And we can begin to think things like, I'm a failure. I'm never going to find another job. I'm already having enough challenge supporting my family. What if I don't find another job? What if I can't get out of debt? I don't know what to do with this health diagnosis that I've received. I call these tangles. They're knots in our consciousness. They actually aren't tangles when we remember that the universe is friendly and for us. If I've lost a job and I remember that I live in an abundant universe, I'm going to see it through the perspective that perhaps there's a better fit for me out there. There are infinite opportunities. There's infinite possibilities for me. I love hearing babies. I got to tell you, if you're hearing this little baby, I have this practice that whenever I hear a baby, whether it's a crying baby, a laughing baby, a bantering baby, I just take a moment and just see all babies surrounded in love, receiving exactly what it is that they need in exactly the way that they need it, and all of us big people providing that for them. Because I know that for each one of us here, that is all we ever were seeking, was someone to see us, someone to witness us, someone to allow us to be fully expressed, someone to accept us exactly the way that we are. But I digress. So, we have these tangles, right? I'm just trying to provide for my family. I don't see another job in sight. Now I have a tangle on top of a tangle. And this is how it happens. In our culture, we are taught that when something is uncomfortable, such as this, what are we taught? Run away from this tangle as fast as humanly possible. We are taught to move away from anything that is uncomfortable, anything that feels dark, anything that feels intense. Run away as fast as possible. We try to eat it away. I have. We try sometimes to drink it away. We try to shop it away. We try to pretend that it's not even here, and yet and still in the recesses of our mind, here it is. It's following us. Or we become so focused on this knot that we then forget that we are living in this spiritual plane, and we see only this knot. This is all we see. I've lost a job. I don't see another one in sight. I'd so love to be in a relationship. I don't see one in sight. All I see is this knot. And not only that, I begin to perceive that I actually am this knot. I don't see another job in sight. I start believing I am lacking. That I must be lacking. Something must be wrong with me. I have had these feelings, have you? Something must be wrong. Something is broken within me. When Albert Einstein said, the most important decision we'll ever make is that we live in a friendly universe, he also said, we cannot solve the problem at the level of consciousness that created the problem. What does this mean? It means that we cannot untangle this knot by looking at this knot at the level of consciousness that created this knot. And this is why I say to you that I am certain that we are spiritual beings seeking to have a spiritual experience when encountered with the tangles of life. So when we are encountered with the tangles of life, which we will be, we are seeking to know that we are abundant, that there is abundance, that we are in the field of limited potentiality, that there are unlimited possibilities all around us. We are seeking to know that we are enough in the midst of what seems to be a tangle. We are seeking to know that we can still be inspired, that there is creativity flowing through us in the midst of the seeming tangles in life. Are you with me? Yes? Is this what we are all seeking? Yes? So the good news here is that when you look at the content of these knots, you will notice that it is simply still the golden cord of consciousness that for a moment has gotten a little tangled. Right? You will notice that the content of this very knot, yes, it may feel a little obstructed. You might not feel the flow in the same way that you feel this flow. You might not be experiencing the flow, but that doesn't mean that the content of this knot is not the same content of the Holy Spirit that is everywhere present. The essence, the presence of this universe is right here in the center of this knot. With me? If you leave with nothing else, leave with the courage and the conviction and the commitment never to try to run away from a tangle again. Never to look at a tangle and think you are the tangle. When you begin to recognize that this presence, this universal benevolent presence, that even though it doesn't feel all the time like it is for you, is in fact for you. When you don't believe it, but you are willing to believe it. I am willing to know that in the midst of this tangle, there is a universal presence that is for me. When you even have the seed of willingness, what happens? This tangle begins to dissipate. This tangle becomes more spacious. It is much more spacious thought to think I am supported by a friendly universe that is here to support me and provide for me everything that I need, especially in the midst of a tangle. Yes? What happens is that in our culture, we are so taught to run from anything that feels uncomfortable that we rarely get the pleasure, and I'm going to use the word pleasure intentionally in the same sentence with tangle. Pleasure, discomfort in the same sentence, because we run away and we rarely get to experience that right here in the center of this tangle. You can see through it right here in the center of this tangle. And one of the most brilliant lyrics I think I've ever heard is a Byers-Beckwith lyric. There in my pain, you all know this, there in my pain is the seed of my strength. Just be present with that lyric for a moment. There in my pain is the seed of my strength. Very few of us are taught to be able to sit in the presence of that which is uncomfortable, because we haven't been taught that if you just stay present, you will find that right there in the center, there is a you that has always known you are more than enough. The very thing that every one of us longs to know. Every one of us longs to know, I am enough, exactly the way I am. I am valuable. I matter. These are the questions that we are always asking life, and we are always asking each other, maybe not in those particular words. When a child walks up to you and looks in your eyes, wondering if you're going to be patient or if you're going to be hurrying them, what they're wanting to know is, do I matter to you? When a spouse looks in their partner's eyes and they're asking, can you help me with the dishes? What they're asking underneath that translation is, do I matter to you? Am I valuable to you? When you bring a project at your work and you hand it in, what you're really asking is, does this even matter? We all want to know that we are divine beings with a divine destiny. And let me tell you, your soul does not rest until it has answered this question. And that is a holy tangle to be untangled, well worth your time and investment. Every one of you was born into this life divine, with a divine destiny. And so when you feel that esoteric rubbing that feels sometimes like quicksand, don't curse it, thank it. Because it is your destiny seeking to break out and seeking to break through. Yes? So I want you all to leave here with an actual experience of this. Because the more that you get to know the spiritual, invisible, delicious qualities of this universal presence and the qualities of your own beingness, your sacred divine beingness, the more that you get to know this presence, the more you will call upon it and the more you will lean into it. And trust me when I tell you, this divine presence always answers your call. The louder you call, the greater and louder the response. Lean in, call upon it. And you need go no further than your own heart, because implanted, encoded, coded within you are those designer genes. Implanted, encoded, coded within you is your divine destiny. It's within you and it's seeking to come out. So I'm going to ask you, if you're willing and you want to experience this, if you're willing, gently close your eyes. And if it feels comfortable to you, just place your hand over your heart as a way of signifying to yourself, I am here to connect with my highest self. I am here to connect with my divine destiny. I am here to connect to the spiritual realm that is the birthplace of my spiritual being. It is my infinite wellspring. It is my infinite breath. It is my everything, and it is closer than your own heart. Set your intention to connect. Take a nice deep breath in and exhale. In the spaciousness of your breath, in the spaciousness of your heart that is unlimited, your heart that is boundless, your heart that is open at the top, no ceiling, no limits. In the center of your own open heart, place any real tangle that you're having in your life. Anything that is a tangle. It doesn't need to be anything large. It just needs to be something real and authentic. Whatever tangle you might be experiencing in your life, you place it in the center of that big open heart. Now, this tangle, I promise you, has a message for you. It has a teaching for you. It may look like a mess, but in the midst of this mess, there is a message. This tangle has a teaching for you. So we're asking, tangle, what is it that you are here to teach me? Mess. What could possibly be the message in this mess? I'm willing, I'm open to hear the still small voice of guidance, of wisdom, of clarity. There is a place within you, right in the middle of that tangle, of pristine clarity, perfect knowing. It will tell you exactly what to do, and it will tell you exactly when to do it. It will tell you when to move, and it will tell you when to stand still. So we're simply asking, what is the message that this tangle is here to teach me? What is the message? And we listen. It may not come in this moment. It may not even come tonight. It might not even come this week. This is our spiritual practice. Be persistent, be tenacious, ask the question, the answer will come. It will come in a way that you know it is your intuitive knowing. You will know. You will know when to move. You will know what to say. You will know with whom to say it. You will know whether to share it. You will know whether to keep it silent. And then whenever you're ready, gently open your eyes. If you leave with nothing else, leave with the commitment to move toward your tangles. Don't need to run away from these tangles ever again. These tangles are your teachers. This, what might look like a mess in your life, has messages for you. In the midst of every tangle, I promise you what you will hear is that you are enough exactly as you are. Say that after me. I am enough exactly as I am. Say that. Am enough exactly as I am. Let's say it again so that we can practice embodying this. I am enough exactly as I am right now. In the midst of this tangle, I am enough. In the midst of this tangle, I am enough. In the midst of this mess, it is my message. In the midst of this mess is my message. I am a spiritual being accepting a spiritual experience. I am a spiritual being accepting a spiritual experience. As you leave here, and before you leave here, you can expect to have a spiritual answer, a spiritual experience where this very tangle is concerned. And after me, one more. I am a divine being with a divine destiny. I am a divine being with a divine destiny. Can you turn to your neighbor and say, you are a divine being with a divine destiny? You are a divine being with a divine destiny. Can you find a different partner, someone else? You are a divine being with a divine destiny. One more partner. You are a divine being with a divine destiny. How about this one? We are divine beings with a divine destiny. We are divine beings with a divine destiny. Will you humor me and just stand up and let's say it like we mean it? We are divine beings with a divine destiny. Repeat after me. Wait. Repeat after me. I am here to shine. I am here to shine. Look at a neighbor. You are here to shine. You are here to shine. Look at another neighbor. You are here to shine. One last one. We are here to shine. Shine on, baby.